In 1997, the Red River swallowed the region around Fargo, North Dakota, rising to nearly 40 feet. 12 years later, the water returned, peaking at a record 41-foot crest that threatened to wipe the city off the map. Residents deployed over 7 million sandbags, fighting hand-to-hand against the rising tide. But human endurance has a limit, and state leaders knew they needed a permanent fix. To understand why Fargo keeps drowning, you have to look at a bizarre geographical quirk. The Red River is one of the few rivers in North America that flows north, straight into Canada. Every spring, snow across the southern basin melts first. As that liquid rushes north, it collides with cooler northern areas where the river is still frozen solid. The ice acts as a natural plug, dead stopping the spring melt. In a typical valley, engineers would just build a dam, but the area surrounding Fargo is pancake flat. A dam here wouldn't contain the flood, it would just displace it, drowning neighboring communities instead. With the forward path blocked by ice and no valley walls to hold it in, the rising river spills outward across vast swaths of land, turning a geographical oddity into a recurring existential threat for 250,000 people. State engineers eventually realized they couldn't fight the water on a flat plain. They had to work with gravity, even if that meant moving the river itself. The solution is a $3 billion, 30-mile-long drainage ditch. By tapping into the river south of the city, they designed an enormous artificial diversion channel that wraps completely around the western edge of the metro area. Engineers are sculpting a secondary river system into the North Dakota landscape to usher the disaster safely past their front doors. To control the surge before it reaches downtown, the Army Corps of Engineers constructed a giant levee at the southern edge of the city. This acts as a massive catchment bowl, pooling the incoming floodwater before it enters the city. Embedded in that levee are 3 control structures. The main one uses 3 huge steel gates, roughly 50 feet wide and 50 feet tall. During a major flood event, operators lower these gates to choke the river, forcing the excess flow sideways into the new diversion channel. Carving that 30-mile path requires excavating 45 million cubic yards of earth, the equivalent volume of 14 Great Pyramids of Giza. Out here, the rich farmland dirt is notorious. The moment it rains, the soil turns into a sticky sludge that halts progress, with trucks losing traction and dirt clogging the machinery for weeks at a time. To stay on schedule, crews run double shifts around the clock during dry summers. When the temperature drops, they use the bitter North Dakota winter to their advantage. The frozen ground allows excavators to rip out massive, solid chunks. Moving 45 million yards of dirt away is impractical, so the material is piled alongside the trench. Every scoop serves a dual purpose. They carve out the void to hold floodwaters, while simultaneously building the fortified walls necessary to lock it inside. Slicing through an active metro area means colliding with existing infrastructure. The route cuts directly through major arteries, including Interstates 94 and 29. To keep the region moving, crews shift traffic onto temporary bypass lanes, excavate the channel through the original roadway, and drop in a permanent bridge. They repeat this exact sequence for 19 roadway bridges and 3 active rail lines. Daily rhythms in the city above continue uninterrupted, while a massive artificial canyon is carved directly beneath the local supply lines. Routing water under highways is one thing, but the new diversion channel also runs directly perpendicular to an existing natural waterway, the Cheyenne River. Engineers built a massive aqueduct to physically route the natural flow of the Cheyenne over a bridge, while the dry diversion trench passes beneath it. The floor of the aqueduct is actively heated throughout the winter, ensuring that fish and local aquatic life can safely pass through the structure, regardless of the deep North Dakota freeze. This architecture allows one river to cross another, while keeping the local ecosystem entirely isolated and intact. At the end of its 30-mile detour, the floodwater is discharged back into the original Red River, safely north of the city limits, where it continues its journey to Canada. Despite the scale of the earth-moving required, the ultimate design goal is for the project to eventually disappear into the landscape. Crews pull stockpiled topsoil over the levees, planting specialized native grass seeds on the slopes to prevent erosion, while cultivating a new wetland ecosystem below. These engineered grass-covered slopes provide a permanent shield against a once-in-500-year flood. Because of this artificial landscape, 250,000 people will never have to fill a sandbag again.